I actually took this class knowing I would take it because at the time I was living in Canada and I was flying back and forth. And there's very few folks that actually did the program north of the border and took the flight. And I had the privilege of meeting one of them that did it before me. And he said, do me one favor, take a promise and hold it. And I said, sure, what is it? And he said, take this class, Total Leadership, with this professor, Stu Friedman. Now, I didn't know, I wasn't in the program, but I said, all right, I'll make the promise. And I took the promise. So when the course selection actually came up, I just ticked the box. I already knew I would spend my credits. I made a commitment. Away we go. And what he told me stuck with me for that year and a half before I took the class, because he said, hey, listen, you're going to learn life skills. Wharton's going to teach you so many different classes. You're going to learn all about finance and marketing and operations and stats and anything and everything you can possibly learn. But this will be the one course that you'll actually take away life lessons. I said, that works for me, so let's go. In taking the class, I realized, in full transparency, I probably wasn't living as honest a life as I would have wanted to live. And it really hit me during these stakeholder analysis or these stakeholder conversations that you guys are hearing, you're talking about, and I think you're going through it right now. And so what I realized, and everyone here, I'm assuming, I take the presumption that everyone feels like they're a high achiever. They do really well. In order to sit in the seat that you're in today, you've probably had a pretty good run up until this point. And when I was doing my stakeholder analysis, I assumed that everything was great. And I kind of gave everything a pretty high rating because, hey, rock star life, life is good, life will continue to be great. And what I realized is the folks that are probably most important to me, or are most important to me, my family, my close friends, I thought life was great, and they were honest with me because they gave ratings, and they gave me transparent feedback that although they valued the relationship just as much, I probably wasn't, or I wasn't living up to the expectations that they had of me as clearly as I would have anticipated. And conversely, in areas that we're all working, you're going to go off and do amazing things in your professional life, I realized that my professional colleagues, although I gave them a rating here because I thought, hey, life is pretty good, they actually said I was exceeding their expectations. So I was miscalculating my estimation of how I was delivering against stakeholders. And the issue that I had was the folks that are going to be around me 20, 30, 40 years down the road are the folks that I was missing with the most. And whether it was with my mom, and this is going to sound silly, but she told me, because I used to live in the US and I would call when I was younger. I'd call every week, how you doing, life is good, and have a conversation. When I moved back to Toronto, I would call less. And she found that so odd and so frustrating. These little changes, so when we moved back, my wife and I moved back here to the US, I now call my mom, or I try to, every week, like clockwork. And she's out of the country right now, she's overseas, so we're flipping emails once a week, even if it's something so small, not because it's important to me, because for me what was really valuable was the face-to-face. To spend some time with her, have a meal with her, that was really valuable to me, but what was really valuable to her was that small little connection. And when you find these misalignments in life where someone that you care about thinks that, or has an expectation of you that you don't know you're expected to deliver on, if you're able to understand that and have an honest conversation with them, stakeholder analysis is a great example, you'll identify these miscalculations or these misinterpretations, and it's now on you to decide if you're going to change it or not. So I walk away knowing that I'm living a much more honest life, the life that I want to live 4 or 5 years today, than where I was when I was taking the class. And I'm so glad I made a promise 6 years ago to sign up for the class before I even knew what I was getting myself into. So congratulations, good luck in your lives and graduation, and excited to meet you guys.